build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me balls, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bangers podcast. I'm Matty. I'm with John and Brian tonight. Brian, how are you doing?
Fine, mate. Bit windy outside there.
Aye, you get a wee bit of medication for that. You'll be all right. A couple of Rennies in you. John, how you doing?
I'm alright. I've got a wee bit of sore back. I hurt it playing golf earlier, so I'm uncomfortable.
There's a wee tip for that. Didn't he play golf?
Aye, right.
Aye.
How are you doing with your golf, John? Anyway, you getting your handicap down, etc.?
Well, I got a handicap, and you need to get involved in competitions and stuff in order for your handicap to come down, and it's a bit tricky at the moment because everything's getting cancelled, the weather's been shite, you name it. So I'm probably just going to spend the next few months trying to get better, like without really properly keeping score or anything like that. And then when it comes to it, I'll get involved in medals and start trying to bring my handicap down that way.
Ah, decent. I never played golf since my teens. I think I would be quite shite at it if I was to pick it up again now.
Did you see that Hibs had announced another in their 1,000 long list of partnerships with Titleist, the golf ball manufacturer? So you can get
Yes.
badge on it.
I saw somebody moaning about the price of them, was what I saw on Twitter.
£50 for a dozen, which is quite pricey for what I've seen in golf balls anyway.
But are they good balls?
I believe you get varying levels of Titleist, and I think they might be at least semi-decent, if not the best.
So
I
I think
would lose them all within an hour.
That's the thing. Like all the balls that I've been playing with recently have been practice balls that I've picked up off of Gumtree. So like a tenner for 50 balls. So I didn't mind losing them at all.
Do you think there's a market for? I don't know if you remember when you were wee or if you still get them. Remember, you used to get the key rings that if you whistled, it would beep. You know, if you dropped your keys somewhere, you could whistle and it would beep to tell you where they were. I didn't know do things like that with golf balls.
Well, I saw something, and I don't know if they're any good or not, because I've
children
never
went on holiday in Portugal.
Yeah.
Are you saying that a keyring should have been attached to a certain young
Not
lady?
a certain one, generic. A generic non-specific one, John.
Yeah.
There's a pair of glasses seemingly that you can wear that are almost like, I want to say, they kind of look like. What have you seen The Sopranos?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know when Junior Soprano is away getting checked out for something, but he's actually like handing over some cash, and he's talking about his glasses, and there's a boy over on the other side of the waiting room that looks like, I think looks a bit like Ray Charles or something. He's got like the big black dark glasses on. So there's a pair of big dark glasses that you can get that you can wear to go and find your golf ball, and it blacks out or kind of blues out everything else, and your golf ball sticks out against the background because of the colour. But I'm sure it was like Wish or something that I seen it on, so it must be like £10 of absolute shite.
Wish is so I've never actually looked on the website, but Wish advertise on Facebook, and half the stuff we've seen there you can't even work out what the fuck it is. I think we talked about it one time. There was like the nose tap.
Oh,
That's nose tap thing.
The big cock nose thing.
Aye. I still to this day don't know what that is.
Mine hasn't turned up yet.
Aye, I wonder if it's you could turn it off. Maybe it's to turn off. Like if you got a runny nose, you could just twist it and it just stops your nose running. I tell you what I was thinking about earlier on. So two things that crossed my mind today, right? Yesterday I was making egg mayonnaise. So first of all, I was making some egg mayonnaise for a baked potato, but I was also making some scrambled egg. I can't remember if it was on the podcast we talked about it or if it was off air. But making scrambled egg, but not using any milk, so you only have butter in the pan, and
Yep.
just eggs that you whisk up to pour in.
That was
No.
I watched that group chat. That's right.
And I
No.
called it an omelette.
But you are wrong. These
Very
are so I love eggs in general. So the only eggy thing I don't really like is like quiche and stuff like that, but it's like fucking cold and rubbery, right? Bollocks to that. Like that's not how you have an egg. Omelets really like scrambled egg. If you get it right, is like one of the best fucking things ever. And you can make. So I watch YouTube videos and stuff. That's how fucking sad I am. To see that how could I improve the technique. And if you do this, you get a big bit of butter in the pan, melt it down so it's just bubbling a wee bit. No milk or don't season it or anything, just the eggs, whisk them up, put them in, 30 seconds on the heat, don't touch it, take it off the heat, give it a good stir, and just repeat that on the heat, off the heat, until you get it bang on. You honestly come away with fucking world-class scrambled egg once it's ready. It is phenomenal. But egg mayonnaise, right, so I'm a big fan of egg mayonnaise. Shelling eggs, is there a knack for that? Because that's the biggest pain in the fucking arse thing you can do.
Throw them against the wall.
I think there was a thing that I saw where you get like, do you get a saucer and a bowl and you kind of like spin it round or something, and that's or is it?
I've seen that.
There is some sort of weird technique where it's almost like centrifugal force, and that takes the shell off it. What I try and do is, and I couldn't honestly tell you how successful this is or isn't, but what I try and do sometimes is get my egg and just leave it sitting in the water and no more. So you almost get like a wee bit of shell above the waterline, so that you can kind of break that off and then break the membrane underneath. But I'm probably talking shite. It probably doesn't. It's probably not that good. There must be a way.
There must be, because you see, like Tesco sell these wee protein pots, and it's just 2 boiled eggs. But they're always perfect, like perfect boiled egg shape. There's no bits missing where the shell's fucking pulled off half the egg whip.
Why do supermarkets do that? Like, why do they take away like the nature's packaging and then chuck it in plastic? What's the thinking behind that, do you reckon?
Well,
Saves you doing it yourself.
aye, like if you're going out to buy a boiled egg, you don't then want to have to pick the peel off it, are you?
But what type of
You'll
people
do
are
it
going to
with-
Morrison's to buy a boiled egg?
Well,
Like,
obviously, folk, the wee protein pots. Josh picks them up sometimes with his wee meal deal that he likes. He'll get a BLT and then a protein pot with 2 boiled eggs.
He's lying to you. He's buying fags.
So, aye. Anyway, I just there must be a good way to do it, and I thought because I like eggs, I thought maybe I would tap into the hive mentality of lawn buyers, and fuck knows why I thought that would be a good idea. And see if you've had any tips for it. Maybe somebody that's listening will ken how to fucking shell an egg without getting half it falling apart.
And to restore a bit of faith in humanity, I went to the cash machine yesterday to specifically take money out to buy a pizza. They don't accept card, so there's obviously some kind of underhand tactics going on there with the taxman, but that's by the by. And I wanted to take out 30 quid. They wanted denominations of 20, so withdrew 40 quid. Walked over to the chippy, ordered a pizza, went to pay for it, realised I had no fucking money on me. Raced back across the road, 40 quid was gone. Took out another 20 quid, went back to the chippy, paid for it, about a tenner. So I'm sat there thinking, this pizza has just cost me 50 quid. Fucking human. Got my pizza, and then I thought, just by chance, I'm going to nip into the shop right beside the cash machine. And to my absolute amazement, somebody had spotted the 40 quid and walked into the shops and handed it over.
That's good, eh?
And I got my 40 quid back.
And this is in Trent.
This is brilliant, I know.
See when you said that you were getting a pizza and you were originally going to withdraw 30 quid, but it only came in denominations of 20, so you got 40. How much is a pizza out your chippy?
It was a 12-inch chicken pizza and a can of Coke, and it came at £9.70. I don't know why I wanted to take out 30 initially, but I got that annoyed that it said it was denomination to 20. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to take 40.
What?
When
I
20 really would have covered it.
If you saw the cash in the cash machine, what would you do with it? Would you have handed it in, or would you have gone in your pocket? A laugh says it all. I remember at Dulwich Library one time finding must be 60 or 70 quid on the floor, just in the books. It's like a Sunday morning. I was hungover to fuck. I'd taken the kids up to basically because they had to be quiet. You know, then you go to the library, it's like they just do my head in. It's a short walk up to the house. I'll get some air, blow the cobwebs off this hangover, and they can sit looking at books, and I'll kind of just sit quiet and not die. And when we got up there, there was, I think it was 70 quid. It's just lying on the floor next to the kids' books. I just handed that in.
That's good. To be fair, when I got the money back, I said to the woman that she told me there was a woman that had handed it in, and I said, "Does she come in here a lot?" And she said, "Yes." And I says, "Find out what she likes, and I'll get her." No, I don't want to date her, John.
I'm lonely. I'm desperate for human contact.
Although in saying that, honesty is a
She likes
value
flowers
I
and
like in
cunnilingus.
I do value honesty in women, so she's certainly she's ticking a box there. But no, I said find out what she likes, and if it's a bottle of wine or whatever, I would be more than happy to get her a little reward.
I think that would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it? If you could do something like that, if somebody does a good turn, that encourages more good turns in the future and things like that.
Absolutely.
Are you playing the long game, Brian? Like, are you going to find out what she likes and then get her that, and then you're going to find out if she enjoyed it, and if she did, you're going to try and get her number?
Just start casually leaving 40 quid every now and again, just every time you go to the cash machine.
Just attach a bit of fishing line to it at one time.
Standing beside it with a newspaper with wee holes cut out so you can see what's there. Did you see the story of the boy who got arrested for trying to travel to one of the islands, the Scottish islands, on a jet ski to get his Nat King Cole? But I think he expected to take something like 15 minutes, but it was 4 hours.
Aye, and the boy, like, it was saying that the boy couldn't swim and he'd never been on a jet ski before.
The thing is, right, he's probably, you think about your life, been feeling, right, I'm needing my hole. Well, how can I do? I can't get a ferry or whatever. I'll get a jet ski. 4 hours later, can you imagine the nick of his boss? He wouldn't have been doing anything. It'd be a complete waste of time. He'd have got off the thing like John fucking Wayne. His missus, like, when you come into bed, then he'd be going, "Oh, no, the night doll. I can't. Have you got an ice pack?"
Looking like he's been chasing baby piglets.
When I read that, that's the image I got is like the boy just fucking limping up and tears and all bruised the buggery. And I thought, that must be what the Proclaimers would be like when they turn up at the girlfriend's door. And they can, you fucking left the house 3 weeks ago. Where have you been? So I fucking walked. You're sticking. That must be the least romantic fucking gesture gone, to fall down at your door. Like, no, if you're going to walk that far, turn up with some flowers and a meal or something, kind of bottle of wine. Then you just fucking collapse. It's like a game of Chapter Run. You know, if they're looking at the wee peephole, there's no cunt there, I'm not answering it. See them the next day when they open the door. "Charlie, what you doing down there?"
Next time, get the bus, you dopey bastard.
I'm in New York. Fucking fly. Get a plane. You're a pop star, for goodness sakes. That's no romantic. It's fucking stupid.
And you've not even got running shoes on.
You're no equipped for your dress for the weather, you clown.
Come in and give me your rock pots.
I've got some compeeds in the cupboard. I'll get any blisters. Will be horrendous. That's the least likely way to get a ride, isn't it?
Thinking you're getting your hole and you spend the evening fucking bazooka in that baruka.
You set it off with the stick with the wee bag tied on the end of it again. Oh, she's going to fucking love this. Aye, that is what I thought about the jet ski. So that's probably what the Proclaimer would be like. This, all full of good intentions and then absolutely ruin it because you're so fucking stupid. Have you ever gone to great lengths to get your Nat King, John?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
it
hope
just
that-
happens, does it? It just comes to you. Hey, big shagger.
John Van.
Fuck no, I probably maybe another time for the shagging stories. Not that
Oh.
I've done a lot of it. It's just usually been fucking comical in its execution.
Well,
Matt,
you,
have you
Brian?
gone to great lengths to get your Nat King?
Oh, no, nah, no, especially. No, especially. There's things came when you've missed events that you would normally go to, like 6-2 I missed for that reason. AEK Athens game also missed for that reason. That's not really great lengths, is it? That's just kind of priorities.
Aye.
So, aye. Well, my old flatmate used to kind of go to do daft things like be away the other end of the country and stuff like that because he would be on a promise. And half the time he'd misread the situation as well, so he wasn't actually on a promise and he'd come back the next day fucking livid that he'd wasted his time.
Did they go down on a jet ski?
It would surprise me with some of the stuff. I remember him chatting up. He'd chatting to a girl all night, and sort of as it's getting near the end of the night, it's like, Joe, do you want to come back down to the flat? And she says, no, not really. He says, well, I was on my stag weekend actually when I was in Newcastle. He says, well, can I go back to yours then? She says, no. And he says, what's nothing happening? She's like, no. He says, well, that's a fucking waste of time, isn't it? His arms are up in the air and everything. He stormed me off in the half. She was looking at me like a fucking weirdo.
Oh man.
Aye, Brian, you any tales of going to great lengths?
The immediate one that springs to mind, and this will come as no surprise to you. It was very shortly after I came back to Scotland, Edinburgh. When I moved back up to Southampton, I ended up at my mother's with a couple of holdalls after the breakdown of my relationship. I ended up out in a pub in Tranent, and I think it shut about 1 o'clock. But there was the sort of the overspill. You would just walk out and spark up a fag and be talking to folk and whatever else. And a girl who I think I'd spoken to a couple of times during the night. Folk were talking about going to house parties and whatever else and organising this and that. And she just appeared from nowhere and says, it was along the lines of, how about we have a house party at mine, just me and you? And I thought, perfect.
Oh.
Game on. So I remember smoking my fag and I was kind of half talking to her and listening to conversations and whatever. And without like coughing or sneezing or any other involuntary movement to be the catalyst for it, I literally full on shat myself while standing. And to this day, I have got it wasn't even like it was a cough, nothing forced it, but it was an absolute avalanche of shit. And I thought, oh nah, this is just the worst timing ever. So from agreeing to go to hers, I said to her, I just need to nip back to mine first, nip back to my mother's. So we walked along. I waddled, probably about a 10-minute walk. Normally it would be 5. I think she thought I was being romantic, going for the solo walk. But to be honest, I was just trying to stop the shit escaping for the bottom of my jeans. So I made a way outside to my mother's. Oh. I walked into the house about, by this time, 1:30. Straight up the stairs, straight into the shower with my jeans on, basically de-kegged in the shower and cleansed myself. Steaming. I'm absolutely out my tits. But as I've opened the bathroom door, there is my mother sat on a chair in the hallway with her arms folded, wondering what the fuck I'm doing. Bathroom stinking of shite. and I basically changed the jeans. New boxer shorts, jeans. Went down the stairs. My mother absolutely bewildered and bemused at this point. Why is he having a shower? Why has he shat himself? Why is he wearing put on a pair of jeans? And why is he going back out at like 2 a.m. now? And I walked out the door, and my dame of the evening was just stood at the end of the driveway, patiently waiting for me to go home and thoroughly disappoint her.
Did she have any questions about it? Like, where have you been? And had she realised what had happened?
Nothing was asked. Nothing. Never even noticed the different jeans.
She's maybe just being polite. Usually she's been walking, she's probably stood in something, or there's been that moment where she's probably had the thought, like, it seemed like a good idea 20 minutes ago, but I'm not feeling it so much now.
I never thought about it until now. What would have been going through her mind, but never think about it. She may have potentially thought I was an early finisher, and I possibly went back to sort of
just to take care of business. Aye.
I've never thought of that until now, but I can, if she ever did think about it, I think she was as pissed as I was. But aye, that was one that immediately sprung to mind. I should have just called it off and said, that's a lovely offer, and in any other circumstance, I would be humbled to escort you home. But I'm afraid I have just violently shit myself, and I have to take a rain check.
Matty, you know how you were talking about tuning into the hive mind to try and de-shell a boiled egg?
Have you been
Can we
Googling
try
this?
and... No, I just want to tune into the hive mind, long buyers, short buyers, to find out why Brian shits himself so frequently.
I have no idea. I don't know why it happens.
It's like a party trick. A really bad party trick.
A party trick.
I'm a perfectly functioning adult. I don't piss myself. I don't piss the bed. Nothing. Yet there's been, what is it now? I think 15 occasions where I've just
vacated your bowels.
I've not quite dropped the kids off at the pool. I've just left them in the changing room. I don't know why it happens. And always in the most disastrous circumstances as well. The corn exchange playing 5-a-sides whilst wearing white shorts. The entrance to a nightclub and still going in and then coming out and getting a round of applause, basically.
Whilst wearing white shorts.
Have you ever thought about like preempting all of these scenarios where we dose of Imodium or something?
Nah, the life's a risk, isn't it?
Aye, that's what's life if it's no for taking chances, eh?
I mean, my morning routine, I'm still on the fags. I wake up, fine, nothing's going on downstairs, it's perfect. I boil the kettle, go outside with a coffee and a fag. When I'm coming back in, there's a signal for the brain to the arsehole that says it's happening. And the closer I get to the bathroom, it really is happening. But there's some kind of jig that I do whilst taking my jacket off, like the slippers off. And it's like I just make it and no more. It's like your arse knows when it's naked.
Like renting.
Do you know?
Just getting there in time.
There is I've experienced it where I've needed to, like, where I've been bursting on a pee and, like, say I've been trying to find the toilet, whatever, or I'm close to home. If you're, like, say, a mile away from the house, you're bursting, you're thinking, Christ, am I going to make it? Am I going to have to pee outside or whatever? And I know you absolutely should. Like, if you can pee outside, you should pee outside. So you make it, say, like 9/10 of a mile home. You get to the bottom of the stairs and you think, finally, I'm going to get to the toilet. And you're like, I've made it this far, I can hold it. And then it's like every single step up the stairs or to the toilet. As soon as you undo your belt, undo your jeans,
when you're
like, suddenly, fuck, I'm overwhelmed. I need to piss right now. But you've managed that a mile already. Why is that? Why does the body do that to you?
I don't know. And those are the ones where it's not perfectly in, like a straight line either, is it? Like you're getting it, and you think that you made it, and it goes at a right angle.
You have to stand in the bath.
And again, this never happens. Why is it going in that direction? I'm brutal for going in the car and needing the toilet as soon as I get in the car. Like every drive, I'm in the car for anything more than maybe 15 minutes. I need the toilet, and then if it's a long drive, it's just horrendous. You sit kind of sweating trying to think about anything other than going to the toilet. And the amount of times I have to kind of stop at a shop or fucking McDonald's or something just to run in. It's like a bear. It doesn't matter how many times I go to the toilet before I leave, because that's what you tell your kids, Ken, before you go on a long drive. Make sure you all go to the toilet.
I was going to say, did Tom say that to you?
Well, it doesn't make any difference. I did that, and as soon as I'm in the car, 5 minutes later, oof, oh, here we go. I could do a pee. Especially if somebody mentions it. I think it's like a psychological thing because I'm not used to it happening. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I have like the bladder of a 3-year-old when I'm fucking driving. I'm all right the rest of the time. I can go through my working day without needing a piss every couple of minutes. And
what about when you're drinking? Like how long do you think you can go before breaking the seal, and then after breaking the seal, are you just constant?
I'm fine until we break the seal. Like you go getting along with everybody else. Like I would say average at least for that. But then as soon as the seal's broken, it's horrendous. It's like maybe again once every couple of pints, or again like it's been that long since I've been in a pub. But
at the Grass Market, we were going to whatever club it was. I can't even remember. It's called Gaia or something like that. But he stopped behind one of the big industrial bins, started pissing. He was steaming, like, started pissing. But there was a group of girls coming up, and rather than just very politely apologise for being caught short, at that point, in his state of mind, he thought the best option was just to tuck it back into his pants and just keep pissing. So he got into the club, and I mean, obviously it was late at night, so he was concealed. But he's going to the club, and obviously you've got your strobe lights and whatever else, and it was clear. Oh. It was clear to see he'd pissed himself. And I think he lasted about 5 minutes in there before he was asked to vacate the premises. But
somebody's definitely going to tell the bouncer. Like definitely that's happening. If the bouncers didn't see it themselves, somebody's definitely gone. By the way, there's a guy in there that's pissed himself.
And it's just, I mean, it's a sliding doors moment, isn't it? Sure, you just have to keep pissing and you just say, "I'm really sorry. I know it's disgusting. I've been caught short." Rather than thinking, "This is a good move." This won't backfire.
At Tea in the Park one year, and it's like you can be miles away from a toilet sometimes at Tea in the Park. I think it was quite early in the day. Anyway, I went to find a quiet spot because I had to go and pee, and kind of went away from where the crowds were and everything. I'm standing just kind of peeing against one of these metal fences, like the barriers that you get the football and everything. And there was the radio presenter Lauren Laverne. She was in a band called Kaniki.
Oh yeah.
That band was on the other side of the fence as I'm mid piss, and they were Geordies and they shouted "Aye" sort of thing, and give them a little wave, embarrassed, and then sort of finished and ran. Yeah, I wouldn't have pissed myself. Like I wouldn't have thought that would be the option in that situation. I would not.
It can never be the option. It can't.
I can't remember if this was the same Tea in the Park or a later one, but my flatmate that was talking about would go to great lengths. We were at a Tea in the Park one year, and who was coming on? All Saints were coming on. They were on the main stage, and there mustn't have been anybody better to go and see. I was like, well, I'll go and see All Saints. And John says, I'm going to piss. So that's fine. We'll wait for you. So we went over to the toilets, which were just by the main stage. He'd gone in, and then he never came back out again. We never saw him for the rest of the time. And of course, we didn't have mobile phones or anything. And right, this was like one of these mad ones. So I was with one of my other flatmates' ex-girlfriends, who we'd met on the bus going up to Tea in the Park. If I remember right, we hadn't arranged to go together, right? But she'd met us on the bus, and obviously we used to get stoned quite a lot back in those days, and obviously Tea in the Park was the sort of event where that would happen quite a lot, and I was always terrible at skinning up. Like I just couldn't make I don't have that kind of dexterity to do accurate things like making a joint, but she could make them. So it was like a kind of practical ally to have. That just so she hung about with us. So me and her were waiting. John went to the toilet, never came back. I spent the rest of the day with kind of every now and again get her to skin up a joint, get gradually more and more stoned. She was getting more and more stoned. But do you know, folk talk about people getting really paranoid on it when they're stoned, right? So it's not something that's really happened to me, other than sometimes I'll get quite quiet or used to. Like obviously not had any for a long time, and I would worry about what I was going to say. You would think of something, and you know what it's like with talking on the podcast. So you imagine having that internal monologue where you're thinking about saying something, then going, "That's going to be really shit if I say it." So you think about saying it for ages and ages and ages, and then you might come out with it. But this is probably 5 or 6 minutes after it would have been appropriate to say it, and that makes you more paranoid. That's kind of the worst I would get with being paranoid, would be worrying about what to say. This girl, I won't give her name. She was like proper full on. People are out to get me. They're making plans, and you know when somebody starts freaking out, and you're like, "Why are you doing this?" And she was stopping people and arguing with them for making plans to attack her. I go, right, you need to go back up to the tent. Like we'll kind of take you up to the tent. So took her away back up to the tent. Kind of made sure she was all right. As we were walking up, it's pissing with rain and everything like that. And I actually was like, right, I'm going home. Like I can't be dealing with this anymore. There was like still headliners to go, and I was like, I don't actually care about fucking seeing the headliners. This day has turned so shite. I've lost my mate. I've got somebody who's freaking out about people wanting to attack her and making plans and everything. I'm just gonna get her on a bus, get back to fucking Edinburgh, and that'll be that. So did that. I think I just left the tent and everything. I don't even sure if I went back to collect my stuff. I was just like, fuck it, buses are there. Just get on the bus. Back to Edinburgh. Gets back to my flat. Made sure she was home fine. Gets in. John's sitting there and he's, where have you been, you fucking dick? And he's raging at me. I was like, what? She left me in the toilet. I was like, what? She left me in the toilet. So we waited outside. We never fucking moved from the spot that I was in. He says, yeah, you did, you fucking arsehole. You went away to watch the band and just left me. Then I look at him going, did you go out a different exit? And then he kind of thought about it for him and went, aye. And then he was like, I said, so where did you go? He said, I went and I phoned my mum. My mum came up. He went home at that. He missed the whole fucking festival because he came out the wrong exit of the fucking toilet. Aye, that was a shite in the park. I did not enjoy that one bit. Aye.
How long, like, what sort of time scale from when you left or when the boy left you at the toilet to you getting back to your flat? Like, how many hours are we talking here?
Oh, well, we were back about midnight. You know, time we got off the bus, because I couldn't drive, and obviously we wouldn't have been in any state to drive. Anyway, we've been drinking and smoking all day. So we'd have got the bus back to St Andrew's Square and then walked down to Leith through there.
A good couple of hours and the boy's been raging at you.
Aye, so, and he would have been home for about, so what time? All Saints were mid-afternoon, I think, if I remember right. They were came on early, as you imagine. Nobody's would do the fucking Tina Park crowds know there to see All Saints. So he would have buggered off. He would have, if he'd seen a band, he would have been lucky. I don't even think we'd seen anybody before that.
What about the girl that you left back in the tent? What became of her?
Oh no, so I didn't leave her. I made sure she came back there. I made sure she got. I put her in a taxi home. Made sure she was all right. She lives in New Zealand now.
It's far away.
Unrelated. Unrelated, but aye. That was the worst theme park I've gone to. I've been to one sober before. That was Jane and I went to one just after Josh was born because I had to take the car. I had to stay sober, and if you ever go to Tina Park, never ever do it sober because you will be the only one.
I can imagine that would be fresh hell.
It is horrendous. There is not an area of Tina Park, especially in the later years where it was like kind of gadgy central. It wasn't. I think that if you went to one of the early Tina Parks, it was always like a really good atmosphere. I used to love it. You could, camp there. You wouldn't get any hassle. It would be all right. Folk would be lively, but no fucking wild. The last couple of times I went, when we were camping, there was like folks got stabbed at the tents near us. There was people choring stuff and fighting left, right, and centre. Basically, it was all the jakies who, and I have no problem with folk drinking and taking drugs and stuff like that, but only if you can fucking handle it. See if you can't handle it, and see if you turn into a fucking wahoo when you're on it. Then do it. Do yourself a favour. Do everybody else a favour. Then you go fucking wild, because it ruins it for everybody. And they got more and more people like that. They just couldn't handle it. They went overboard too early and fucked it for everyone. And that is what it was like that last year that I went. And when you're sober and you were folk banging into you or just causing a nuisance, and you see it, I think you can put up with me when you're drunk yourself, because you're sort of not really paying attention to it. But when you see it and you're aware of everything that's going on, it's just fucking horrendous. Aye. That's it. Folk fucking no knowing their limits. They ruined the tea in the park. See if folk could just fucking keep the heat a wee bit, it would have been brought. It would still be going on now, I think. Well, no, this year. Obviously, this year it wouldn't have stopped COVID.
No.
No. Anyway, right. That's just over half an hour. I think that's probably about a good time to call it a night.
We've discussed eggs, shitting ourselves.
Sore bollocks.
Yeah.
Aye. Unromantic gestures.
Romantic gestures.
Every time I hear a fucking Proclaimers song now, I get the huff about it. I'm like, that. These are fucking arseholes.
Have you read? Did you read the story a couple of years back where one of the Proclaimers, I forget which one, had hooked up with one of his fans after a gig, and her sort of kiss and tell story was how disappointed she was, and how her lasting memory of it was the memory of the Proclaimers' glasses bumping her face when they were at it. Oh dear.
Do you think they make the wee that? Get rid of them. Right, probably should leave that one there.
I was going to say,
with a mental image that they want to give.
It's probably more like this, the sounds that they make in O'Gene.
Just imagine him climbing away saying, "I'm going to be the man that wakes up next to you."
And then I may collapse at your doorway, because that's a fucking fun thing. You'll love that. You'll love it when I fucking just collapse. You will be moist as fuck.
Spread eagled on your porch.
You'll not be able to keep your hands off me when I'm a big sweaty mess lying there at your front door. A dog sniffing my arse as I lie prone. Right, that'll do us. Thanks for listening, everybody. John, Brian, thanks for your time. We'll see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.